Not that I'm going to need much of the way of dice tonight. Might just be you. All right. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Argonauts Awoken. Happy holidays. Thank you for joining us on this December 22nd evening. We're very excited to present our show tonight. To remind you all, I am Mr. DMD, and I'm here to lead you and our young recruits through our highly modified version of the 5th edition rule set of Dungeons & Dragons. Before we begin, we will start as we now always do with a recap. And to recap, I saw some eyes bug because some people remembered that we do that now. We're going to ask you all except for I need to change my, we're totally slow today. And there we go. Now we're better. We can fix that in post-production. It'll be fine. So anyway, we are going to ask everyone to please roll a d20, and the person with the highest number is our winner and gets to regroup and remind us of what we did last week. Xavier, Lex, you don't have to do this, and I believe Moon doesn't have to do this, if I remember correctly. Moon is very happy. Zamora doesn't look so happy. Zamora, what'd you roll?
I rolled a 1.
Oh, that's good. That means you're definitely not doing it.
Oh, I forgot that's how it worked. Okay, yeah.
Yes. All right, let's go around the horn. Elia, what'd you get?
15.
All right, not bad. So far, you are the high. Stevie?
2.
All right, Luna?
Oh my God, I got 2 too.
Oh, are you a ballerina with the tutu over there?
No.
All right, Luke, what'd you get?
I got an 8.
An 8. All right, you're safe. So I believe that means that Elia, you are giving us the recap.
Okay. Well, this is hard because it was a while ago.
It was.
Okay, did we begin right when we came out of the interrogation? Was that when we?
No. We began last week,
Yes,
last session. We'll call it last session.
Yes.
Right after lunch on the Saturday, the first Saturday of your extended training.
Okay, so we finished off our extended training in which my team did not win. I won't say we lost, but we didn't win. And we kind of got the rest of the day to go do whatever we wanted or choose to spread our little rumor to set in effect our plan to steal back the medallion from Francois. And then we actually began that plan last time. I remember what I did mostly, but in general, everybody got to where they needed to be. Zamora and Stevie, I believe, got to be on Reaper's, I guess, help squad. Luke and I got to be in Francois' room, his locker room, and Luna is waiting outside, I believe, and so is Moon. Yes, I think that's correct.
No, Luna is.
Luna's also with us.
You would remind us where you are?
Yes, I remember. Luna is also with us in the locker room. Sorry. Moon is outside waiting.
It is Moon that's outside. Perfect. Elia, do you have inspiration at this point?
I think I have 2.
Unfortunately, you can't have more than 2. You're technically not supposed to have more than 1, so I can't give you another one. But let's all give Elia a round of applause. He did a great job. That was not an
Thank you.
Not an easy thing. And so, yes, we are starting right from there as you all stand outside the locker rooms awaiting the opening of the locker room doors. So you are clustered in groups outside. It's not just you all and your combatant, though. There are several other students waiting to get in the arena because this is not just it's not just Francois and Reaper fighting this morning. It is several other groups because we still have the arena combat competitions going on. So this is one event of several throughout the day. So there are a lot of students gathered around in different dress representing either different teams or different guilds, all waiting to get in. And we had already established that Lex and Xavier were running a little late. So they run up and they push their way through the crowds, each their own independent crowd, quickly unlock their locker room doors and throw them open so you all can go in. As you arrive into your locker rooms, they're a buzz of energy. Throughout the morning, the battles will be happening in the arena. They're going to be projected live onto the TV in this locker room and into the individual enchanted locker rooms, which we've established before, and we'll talk a little bit more in just a second. All about you throughout this space, students are moving around. They're moving back and forth from the armor locker to the infirmary locker to their own private lockers, depending on what their teams have or need. And it very much gets the sense of a very busy space, a hive of activity, if you will. And the scenes in the individual lockers, kind of as you walk by them, you can kind of see into some of them. The ones that are open are all just as varied. There are some teams as you walk by that are good doing like energy, exciting chants. There are some that are doing practice sparring to get ready. There's one room you walk by on both sides where the entire team is just deep in a meditation. And as you kind of are making your way amongst this space, you all eventually get to your own the locker rooms that you were expected to go into. So remember when we first visited the locker room for the awakening ceremony, we learned that the locker room is enchanted and you can actually go into each locker, and inside it is another kind of space or room for whoever's going in there. As you're moving about, you all begin to get kind of led to your combatants' specific locker room. We're going to start with Reaper's room. Reaper's room is large enough for the three of you, and a little bit of extra space to include Reaper's armor and visits from Reaper's medic, her healer. But her healer does not stay in this space. And you learn very quickly, Stevie and Zamora, that the healers tend to stay in the infirmary locker and only come to this space when they're needed. So she comes and brings some water to Reaper, checks that she's okay, does some like regulatory checks on Reaper's gear to ensure that it's safe and that the enchantments in the arena are working, and that's about it. And she leaves. And then you're left in this space. It's decorated pretty much like a standard locker room. There's no fancy decorations. Reaper has not come in and set anything up aside from there is a Guild of the Lich kind of banner hanging from one wall. And it's very likely that Reaper didn't even put that up. It looks like it's something that's pretty standard whenever a guild member is in that locker room. And you all have some time here. You're going to have quite a bit of time here this morning to await your the battle. So is there anything you two, Stevie and Zamora, intend to do in this space with Reaper? Reaper pretty much comes in, sets her gear down, which isn't much. It's a small backpack. And she kind of hangs it on a hook and then sits down on the ground and begins to meditate in front of it. And this is an extension of the meditation that she was doing before you even came and knocked on her door. So Stevie, Zamora, is there anything you intend to do right now?
I kind of want to just look around the room and like get a feel for everything, because I don't think I've been at this point in like this kind of locker room for like arena combat.
No, the last time and closest type of locker room you've been into is the locker that you were in for your awakening. It was much smaller, much less fancy.
Yeah, I'm looking around.
So as you look around, there's really not much to see. If you've ever seen like a really fancy sports locker room with the like wooden shelvings and cubbies and things like that, it's pretty much like that. And beyond the Guild Lich flag on the back of the wall, that's it. Reaper's in her meditation. There is there's like a side bathroom area. It's definitely got like fully enclosed. There's a door, but that's clearly the bathroom. And there's a small refrigerator near the door where you came in. It's got like bottles of water.
There's a TV, right?
Oh, yes, there is a TV. You can see the arena activity in the room too. This is significantly different from the other locker rooms you were in that didn't have the TV. That was only in the main locker room last time you were here.
Can I go mess around with the TV and see if I can get like a feel for the tech?
Go for it. You can walk over there and you can roll me a technology.
18. I think that's
Oh.
how math works.
Yes. Yeah, you're pretty, not only you're familiar with the basic TV thing going on here, you very quickly, with some fiddling between the TV and your tablet and pulling and poking back in some cables, you quickly get an understanding of how you could kind of reverse hack it and like change the camera angle so you're not locked in to what the arena wants you to watch.
Cool.
Zamora, what are you doing while you watch Stevie start essentially hacking this TV?
I was at first gonna talk to Reaper, but I noticed that they were in their whole little space, and I know I already interrupted that once before, and I don't want to get on their bad side. So I just kind of go to the fridge and grab myself a bottle of water. And I was gonna grab one for Stevie too, but then I saw that she was doing her little hacky stuff. And I was like, props to her, because I encourage hacking. If you want to get into something, get into it. Good for you. So I kind of just watch her and kind of just like impressed.
Very cool. All right. So if there's anything
These eyes
else,
on me, I'm very uncomfortable.
is there anything else you two want to do between now and when Reaper's going to get her final stuff ready to go into the arena?
What's the camera angle like for the TV right now?
Current angles cycle, there's actually you don't know who it is, but somebody's clearly like directing the feed, and so it's regularly cutting to the best possible shot of whatever's in the arena. It starts kind of at the beginning of the morning as just kind of crowd shots as people are coming in, and then throughout the events, should you not change it, it will be whatever the best kind of angle is. It'll go from wide shots to close-ups from the action, that sort of stuff.
Okay.
All right. So if you have nothing else you want to do between now, your entrance and Reaper getting ready, we're going to jump to the other group. The other group also, because I figure has a lot more they want to do. So when you enter your locker room, there is a little bit of confusion because when Francois set up his initial kind of like sign up for who he was bringing in, none of you were on the list. And so there's a moment when you all are standing in front of Lex, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. Lex, you're in that locker room, and Lex is telling you can't come in.
I'll start, I guess. I'm actually subbing in for the armor. He had to, leave really quick.
All right. So why aren't you still on the list?
Last minute switch. I wouldn't worry too much about it.
What's your excuse?
Francois asked me to help him with healing.
Yet neither of you are in the same class as them.
Well, he just needs some extra help. People get injured. You need more than one healer.
From a first year?
Yes, I'm training.
All right. If we do have last minutes, I can't allow more than one person in.
Why not?
It's a school policy. You think I make the rules?
Well, that's stupid. Both of us need to be here. I'm sorry. That's not my fault.
All three of us.
All of us. Yes. I said Luke, I swear.
All right. So do me a favor, Alaya, Luna, and Luke. Go ahead and roll a persuasion. Or if you'd like to try intimidate a teacher, you could do that too. To see if you can convince Lex here to let you in.
11.
15.
5.
So Lex, you're not buying it. You know something more is going on here. You can see through their lies. The entire rest of the crowd has kind of made their way to the spaces, and Francois has just dusted the three of you. So the three of you are now left alone with Lex, who's still bouncing this door, telling you can't come in.
Come on, he needs an armorer. I'm prepared to do it.
You
That's
know,
what I'm
he's
here
going to
for.
be upset if we're not going to be here. It'll mess everything up. We need to be there.
Exactly.
Yes, because he'll need 2 extras and a replacement armorer of first years.
Yes. Is there anything wrong with that? I
This
don't
is why my
understand what
brother's
you guys
not
have
here.
against first years. I mean, I think we're perfectly capable.
Oh,
If
I'm not saying you were
anything, we-
incapable.
We have morale.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yes. And I mean, Reaper also has a couple first years in her in their team.
Yes, but their bouncer's also my brother.
Oh, so you'll let Reaper do all that, but you won't let
No.
Francois have us? I don't think that's fair.
While you all are having this conversation, everybody roll me a perception check. And Lex, roll 1, 2, please.
Got a nat 20.
Luda, with the nat 20, I'm going to give you this completely. There is a little bit of a confrontation brewing on the other side of the locker room between 2 of the teams. It looks like it could develop into a full-blown like fist fight very quickly.
Well, I rolled a 4, so I assume I don't get anything.
You don't notice any of that. What you notice is Luna noticing something.
I rolled 13.
You don't notice it either. So right now, Luna's the only. Luke, what did you get?
I got a 5, so I didn't notice it either.
Yeah.
No. Luna's the only one who notices this fight brewing right now.
What's wrong?
Did you see what's going on back there?
What?
And you can instantly, Lex, when you see it, turn around and notice that there is a fight brewing.
I think there are people fighting. Would you want to deal with that?
Look at us. We're not fighting. You should let
We're
us
being
in.
very good. I'm a good student.
Fine, I'll go break this up. But if I do catch all of you inside, there will be consequences.
Oh, we would never. We're very good. Go break up the fight. You don't have to worry about us.
Lex goes to break up the fight. What are the 3 of you doing?
We're going inside.
Booking it.
You all need to roll me a stealth check to see if you can sneak by and not get caught by Lex.
Yes.
And Lex, I'm going to roll this one for you. All right. What'd you get, Elia?
Nat 20.
Okay. Luna?
16.
And Luke?
3.
So Elia and Luna totally managed to sneak their way in and blend in with the crowd. And right about as Lex is finishing up, they turn around to look back and see Luke trying to like act really sneaky, and Luke's totally busted. What are you going to do, Luke?
What's that behind you, man?
Roll a persuasion check to see if you can pull the Marty McFly.
Should I roll 2?
Yes, you can roll. All right, what do we get? Luke?
A dirty 20.
Xavier, what'd you get? I'm sorry, Lex.
I got a 17.
Oh, Luke totally manages to pull it off. Luke goes, "What's that?" And Lex is like, "Oh, not again." And he turns around and then he turns back and Luke's gone. So you all managed to get past the teacher. Congratulations. I never thought the Marty McFly would work, but I love it so much. All right. So you're now you're mixing in amongst the crowd, but Francois has lost you. So if you want to put this plan into action, you're going to have to find him.
Should we like roll to look?
You can roll perception. You can also roll. There's a couple other things you can roll. You could roll persuasion if you wanted to find someone and convince them to tell you where he is. You could roll investigation to see if you can search specifically like for clues to where he is. Those would be the three most obvious.
I'm gonna roll investigation, and I got 22.
Yeah. So you've been into the locker room before for events, and you're like, wait, there is usually a method to this. I just got to look at the doors, and you start looking at the doors, and sure enough, eventually you figure out through the clues of the names on them where you should be, and you find Francois' locker. Laya?
I'm gonna try perception. I'm gonna try just looking for it.
Go for it.
I got a 12.
So you don't find the locker, but you notice Luna searching for the locker, and you're able to like follow her.
Okay, that works.
Luke?
I'm just kind of awkwardly standing near them because I don't really figure out what they're doing. So I'm just there. Yeah.
All right, then there's not a focus or pay attention stat. So roll perception to see if you notice when they leave.
Okay. 13.
Yeah, you manage to not see Luna leave, but you see Elia leave. You're like, oh, wait, they're going that way. And you're quickly following them. And you all make your way to Francois' locker, which is shut.
So many hoops we have to jump through. Oh.
I'm going to knock on it and say, Armorer, let me in.
Healer, hi.
Elia, you open it, and there's one of Francois' lackeys. And he's another one of the 8th years. He's just like, great, you found the locker. Come on in. And he opens the door, and you can tell he's very not thrilled that you're here. He's like, just stay on that bench. Don't move. Eventually, the guy who's supposed to be the armorer will be here. Just don't get in the way. Okay, kid?
Yes, sir.
Luna, you start to step in, and he's like, no.
What?
8 lockers down that way. You're in the infirmary with Ravi.
Yes. Okay. I go that way.
And Luke, the only one they actually like, he's like, oh, come on in, man. Have a seat over here. And he takes you to the other side of the room, and there's like sodas and candy bars and like anything that you as a teenager would want, just kind of spread out. Francois is not partaking with any of this. He's very much like getting himself in the zone. Right now, he's got on a pair of black BDUs, combat pants, with pockets, the kind of the like cargo pockets. He's got a black tank top on, and all his other gear is kind of hanging up and in different places. He doesn't have any armor or weapons yet. Clearly, he's still waiting for that. But he's got, you can see that his cloak, which is the Medusa coat, that long coat, is hanging on a hook near him. And that he is very clearly wearing the Guild of the Medusa medallion around his neck right now. And he's kind of just like stretching, doing some workouts, getting himself ready. He takes a couple of like throwing daggers and walks across the room and starts throwing them at a target. And they just hit every time, one after the other, right on the bullseye.
I'm going to walk up to Luke, and I'm going to talk to him. So engage in conversation.
You get about halfway across the room, and the guy who opened the door for you gives you a dirty look and goes, no.
Okay, I go sit back down, but I try to gesture at him to come over to me.
So at this point, I've completely lost focus, and I'm like eating some candy bars, drinking some soda. I'm like, yeah, guys, this is gonna be good.
Luke, roll me another perception check.
Okay.
An anti-perception check. How much he doesn't notice me.
I rolled a 2.
It's a very tasty candy bar. Very tasty candy bar.
Making this so hard.
Do I notice
Well-
later on?
The sounds in the room are essentially Francois's friends laughing, joking, and eating, and like the constant ding, ding, ding of the throwing knives hitting each other in the board as he's practicing.
Well, I'm stuck. I guess it's up to Luke, at least right now.
After a while, I kind of finish up my candy bar, and then I look across the room and I see Alaya. And then I come into realization. I'm like, we're supposed to be doing something. So I make eye contact with him and I'm like,
I love it.
Come here.
I'm gonna kind of glance both ways before I start making my way over to Alaya.
Go ahead. They're not going to stop you.
Okay.
Okay,
up, man?
man. Listen, they clearly don't trust me, but I need you to somehow convince him to get that thing off of his neck. Ask him like, hey man, are you sure you're something like that? They're not going to trust me. I need you to do it. You're at least a bro. Okay. Can you do that? Please remember to do that.
But like, I don't know how. He's not just gonna give it to me, dude.
No, just to get it off of him, for him to put it somewhere. Just get it off of him so he doesn't take it onto the battlefield.
I mean, I don't know where. Okay, I'll try and figure out something.
Yes, please, because that guy's keeping me locked here. So your only hope.
Oh man. Oh, okay. That's a lot of pressure, dude. But okay. Let me go try.
Good.
All right.
So at this
Francois,
point,
I'm sorry. Let me just set
Oh.
this up because I know you're going to walk over. So Francois walked back over to the board and is pulling the throwing daggers out of the target as you walk up.
I walk up to Francois and I'm like, "Hey, man."
He's like, "What's up, kid?" Pulling the daggers out.
You know, I've had a great time here. I'm so glad that you let me hang out with all these cool guys.
Yeah, well, you know, every once in a while you can find a cool first year. And he takes a second. He's like balancing a throwing knife like on the tip of his finger, just like totally bored with this conversation, entertaining himself at this point.
Even though I'm like kind of not supposed to be on his side, I'm like, he called me a cool first year. So that medallion you got there, you're gonna take that thing onto the battlefield and everything?
And he's
a
gonna
lot.
doing this thing. He pops the dagger up and grabs it out. He's like, "No." He sheathes the dagger in a sheath on his hip. He says, "Of course not. I know Reaper wants it. Why would I wear it into the arena?"
Smart guy. So like, what are you gonna do with it?
One of my boys will hold it for me.
Really? I mean, how do you know which one to trust? Am I right?
The one that's going to be in the armory, locked up.
The armor, the new armor.
No, the one that will be back in time. If he's not back in time, then we'll figure something else out.
Oh.
Since we've still got like
so you
2
got-
hours, it's not going to take him that long to get to Raketti and back.
Well, I mean, you know, things happen. If you needed like a plan B or anything, you know, like, I got you, man. I'm just saying.
And he goes, "Well, let's see. You would be plan," and he looks over and there's 4 other guys, C, D, E. You'd be plan F, buddy.
I mean, Francois, man, listen, I've already proven myself to you once with that little guy that I picked up earlier. I could do it again. If you have more little guys, I can pick them up. Okay.
I understand you're a first year, and so this may be a little hard to wrap your mind around. But this, and he holds the medallion out, extremely important. If it goes missing or gets stolen, I lose some prestige around here. And he kind of tucks it in his shirt. So it's not going anywhere.
But if you were to give it to someone of like another guild, then they wouldn't be able to, take it for themselves or anything.
Roll persuasion.
Okay. $19.
He's not buying it.
What?
He rolled higher. I'm sorry. But you know what he says? You know what? I tell you what. If, and this is a big if my boy doesn't get back in time, I'll let you carry it.
Really? All right, man. You can trust me, okay? I'm just letting you know I can do it if he doesn't get back.
All right. So at this point, we've got a little bit of a project in motion. Moon is outside. It's really boring. You're hanging out with Poison. What are you doing? There's a bunch of trees. You're standing by a door. Like no one's walking by. Everybody's in the arena.
For a bit, I was just kind of talking to Poison the whole time, but then it kind of got to the point where we've been waiting for so long. There's like nothing else left to talk about, and I'm like kind of hoping there's going to be some action, but then I'm also not in the mood to deal with it because I'm so exhausted. So I'm just kind of, wanting the gang to kind of hurry it up.
And as you're sitting there, bored, waiting, a guy, blur of a guy, running right past you. You can barely make out Medusa colors as he's running right past you.
Well, that was weird because it was like the Flash. It was like, whoosh.
He was in a hurry. He was like, the White Rabbit, I'm late.
I kind of really don't know how to react. I kind of want to like investigate, but I also know if I move from this spot, I'm scared I'm going to like miss something.
Do me a favor. Roll a perception check. You're paying attention. You're looking out.
$15.
As he runs by, you're like, was that Francois' armor? And he's running right for the door.
Should I go after him?
Your
I'm gonna go
entire
after
team is like, yes. What are you gonna do?
I don't make it too obvious, but I kind of like signal Poison and I kind of fast walk behind him, not in a creepy way, but I like quickly I follow him.
Okay, well, you're about 10, 15 feet behind him. He's rushing. He gets to the door of the arena, and right on the inside of the door is Lex, and he throws the door open. And Lex, you're standing in the door. You're checking people in, and here is a 8th year. He gives you his name on the list as the armorer for Francois. And Moon, what do you do? Now you've got this guy and Lex in a conversation. It's going to be very brief. You have about 5 seconds here.
I realized that I don't really have a plan to get through this door. And don't we already have an armor person though?
Francois has the stand-in armor with him, yes.
Okay. So earlier on, Lex said that that there can't be two armors. So I hear them talking and I'm like, wait a minute. He can't go in there. And I realize as I say this, I'm interrupting, but I don't have a reason as to why I need to be in there.
You don't. But
No.
what are you trying to do? You're just trying to point out the school rule that is potentially going to get broken right now? Is that what you're doing?
Yeah.
Lex, how do you respond when you hear this? I will obviously play the other guy standing here right now.
Explain your reasoning. Lex wants to hear this out because they know the other three went in, but there's kind of like no way they're going to grab all of them.
And the armorer, he's like, dude, Lex, dude, you know me. Come on, man. We were in the same. Okay, listen, Francois is going to be really angry if you don't let me in because I'm the only one who knows how to set up his weapons. And that the first year, like, he's not an armor, he's entourage. Just write him down as entourage. We're fine.
I'm sorry, did I ask you to explain? I think I asked the first year to explain.
Cool. Go ahead, first year.
I'm just, I love this school so much. I would like it for everyone to follow the rules. And just because you're older than me, you think you have like higher power, but I don't think it's fair because you said that there's only one armor supposed to be in there and that we already have armor in there. So I really don't think this guy really needs to go in there. Like, he can go and he can like go and relax, we got it handled. I'm sure someone has it handled in there, but I really care about the school, and I don't want to get in trouble, because I'm just such a little innocent first year. And I think we should all just like stay by the rules and realize that you already let in an armor person.
Roll me persuasion.
18.
So Lex is buying it. You're buying the logic behind this, Lex. What are you going to say?
Not a bad debate. I will give you props for that. We technically have broken some of the rules by 3 first years running in, but it has already been deemed unfair that Reaper has less than the amount of healers they have. And now you're saying you want to add another armor?
Oh, wait, did I say armor? I meant entourage. Wink, wink, Lex.
I don't trust this guy. He clearly doesn't know what he's doing. And anyway, I don't think he should be a part of the team. You already broke just so many rules today. I don't agree. I don't agree with what's happening here.
I find it amusing he finds us to be friends.
He looks at you, Lex. He's like, why you always got to be such a stickler for the rules, Lex? God, you're such a robot. And he looks at Moon. He says, you know what? What's your name?
Poison.
Oh, 1 second. Oh, dang, you rolled so low. All right, Poison. You're on the list. And he walks away. And he's walking around, clearly to go to the front door of the arena. All right. Let's go back to Reaper's room. It's now about 10 minutes before Reaper's fight. It's been a very busy morning. The sounds from locker room outside of your locker have started to dwindle to the point where you don't hear much. Reaper's round of combat is the last of the day, and there's only a few other kind of one-on-one matches before them. And at this point, there's a knock on the locker. Stevie and Zamora, you're the only two people who are not Reaper in this room. Do either of you get up to move or answer it?
I'll answer it.
Perfect.
I go with her to answer it.
Stevie answers it, and Xavier is standing there. And Xavier is here to present the rules of the arena. This is something that happens for every combatant, for every time they compete, no matter how much they know or have heard it before. Standard rule is these are shared with you. So Xavier is going to do just that. Xavier, you muted.
Hello, everyone. How are we doing today?
Hey, Xavier.
I'm just coming by to tell you the rules, do my job.
Sorry, minor technical difficulty. I thought we already had this up, but it's in chat for you, Xavier.
You
click the link. Click the link.
Should we go get Reaper then?
As Reaper sees Xavier, Reaper's competed before. She stands up. At this point, she's changed out of like regular street clothes into her like formal monk combat robes, for lack of a better way of describing them, and is sitting on a bench. There's a few things still in her pack that she hasn't taken out yet, but she's clearly waiting for this moment as Lex comes into the locker.
Looking good, Reaper.
Thanks, Xavier. You're ready to share the rules?
Of course.
All right, let's do it. You can tell they've got this little rapport because they've known each other a while and Reaper's competed a bit.
All right, newbies, the rules of this arena are a little simple. All weapons, spells, and tactics, those are legal. So you can have fun with those. You fight until one fighter is unconscious or downed, confirmed by our red light. Give me a sec. I didn't bring flashcards. All injuries may be healed during battle if you have the ability, or after by our healers. Do not fight after the red light. Do not fight after the red light. That is bad for you because the school has so many rules on that. All right. And I'm pretty sure that's it. Do you guys have any questions whatsoever?
Reaper says, nope, I've done this before. And she reaches into her backpack and pulls out the last two items. And I will describe those in just a second. As Stevie and Zamora, did you have any questions for Xavier?
Not at all. To be honest, Zamora just doesn't really care about the rules. So whatever was said went in through one ear and went out the other.
I was too busy thinking about the TV and how I'm going to change the camera angles, so I also wasn't really paying attention to what he said. So I don't have any questions.
All right. So what Reaper has pulled out of her bag are a pair of bronze bracers, and she begins to strap them to her, like tightening them down onto her wrist, and then kind of flexes a little, kind of smacks them together, and you get a solid metal on metal clang. And then she just kind of goes into another, not so much this time full meditation, but just like controlled breathing, like centering herself before her combat. Zamora and Stevie, this is very clearly at this point your last opportunity to do anything with Reaper. Xavier's still in the room, or in this space before Reaper's going to go out. Xavier is actually going to wait in the room until Reaper's turn.
So, Reaper, are those rumors that you're planning on stealing the medallion true?
Reaper looks at you and she says, straight, just looks right at you and says, Stevie, I don't know. Why don't you tell me?
What do you mean?
I'm not an idiot. And I talk to Hannah every day. You think I don't know you guys started the rumor?
What rumor? There's a rumor?
And she kind of does one of these. Okay, whatever. All I'm going to do is I'm going to go out there and I'm going to do my best to give Francois what's coming to him.
Good, please.
Yeah.
For Hannah.
And with that, Reaper's like, for Hannah. And she like holds out her fist to like fist bump. And that is like the most this locker room gets when it comes to like cheers and excitement and working each other up. Reaper is a fighter who is all about the focus and not about the party. Meanwhile, in the other locker room, it's a very different situation. As Lex knocks on the locker door, at this point, Francois checks his watch, and now he's sweating because his armorer hasn't arrived yet, and he doesn't have his weapons or his armor. And he looks at Elia and he says, "You, kid, go get my stuff."
Yeah, on it. Do I know where his stuff is?
As you start to leave and realize the other guy goes, 8th locker down.
Gotcha. I run to it.
And you bump into Xavier on your way in. Or Lex, I'm sorry. You bump into Lex on your way in.
Just do your job. Just do it.
Okay, I continue past. Thank you.
You run past the 7th locker, which is the locker Luna's still in. Luna, the door is open. You can see Elia run by.
Maybe I waved to him.
And Lex, in the time it takes you to get down the stairs into the locker, Elia has run down and come back with a bag. It's like a military duffel. And you don't know what's in it. Elia, you just ran down there and like someone went, "It's about time someone came from Francois' gear," and just pushed it at you.
Yo, Mr. F, I got it.
It's just about time. Drop it there. I got to get ready. And he points to the bench in the kind of corner where he's been warming up.
Okay, I go and I plop it down and I unzip it, trying to get ready to, kind of shaking too, because I'm like, this is it. This is the moment. Trying to get everything out of the bag.
You unzip this, and none of this is gear you're trained in. None of this is gear you've ever seen before. It's all firearms. It's a pair of holsters, 2 classic like Wild West revolvers, and a repeating rifle. All of these are things you have never used or never been trained on. And he says, just get out of the way. And he pushes you out of the way. And he's starting to put everything on himself at this point. He puts on like a button-up, like hiking shirt, and he's like strapping holsters onto himself frantically. And at this point, Lex starts his rules.
Good afternoon, everyone. Now, the rules of our arena are simple. I will say them once and only once. All weapons, spells, and tactics are illegal. You will fight until one fighter is unconscious or downed, confirmed by our red light. All injuries may be healed during battle, if you have the ability, or after battle by our healers. And number 4, Lex will look directly at Francois. Do not, under any circumstances, fight after the red light, or you will face dire consequences.
He kind of finishes strapping one of his holsters onto his leg. He's like, "Don't look at me like that. One time, it was an accident."
Any questions from the rest of you?
Cool. If there's no questions, then Francois finishes tightening all of his holsters on his legs. He's got now each of the revolvers strapped to his legs. He pulls it's like a sheath out of the bag, straps it on his back over his jacket, slides the rifle into it, and then pulls his medium length hair back into a ponytail, tightens it up. He says, "All right, let's do this."
You got this, man. Oh, you're going to keep that medallion on? Don't give it to me.
Oh, yeah. And he pulls it out and he's looking around. And he starts to point towards one of his 7th year friends, or his 8th year friends, and is about to hand it over.
Upon seeing this, I immediately step up and I'm like, "French dog, what's up, man?"
He says, "Oh, yeah, new guy." And he tosses it to you. And he looks you dead in the eye and he says, Don't lose it.
Got it, man.
You got this, Francois. Go.
You go.
And there is a few minutes go by. Francois is kind of itching. He's like takes his pistols out, checks the ammo, rolls them, throws them back in the holster, re-snaps them. He must have checked each of them 4 times in like 4 minutes that he's waiting. And finally, there is a loud buzzing noise. And in this room, Lex, and in Reaper's room, Xavier, both look at their combatants and tell them that they can go ahead and make their way to the arena. How do you do that? First is Lex for Francois.
I look around. I hope I catch the eye of the combatant.
He's already staring at you.
I simply nod and move slightly out of the way.
And he walks right past you, up the stairs and out the door. The sound of his combat boots on the linoleum is the only thing you hear out in that locker room. Meanwhile, in Reaper's room, Xavier, you have also heard the sound.
All right, Reaper, that's the sound. You got to get out there.
And Reaper, as Reaper's going out, Reaper gives you one of these to do like the forearm high five. And totally nice. All right. And on the way out, and you, when Reaper leaves, hear nothing. Reaper is like, her name's Reaper. She's silent as death, pun intended, as she goes out.
As she leaves, can I yell at her to win, essentially?
Yeah, go for it.
You got this.
Stevie, Zamora, do you say anything to Reaper as she's leaving?
I give an awkward yeah after Xavier says something.
Good luck, bro.
And she just doesn't do much, but kind of gives you all one of these, like just like the power fist, and then leaves. Alaya, Luke, do you say anything beyond what you've already said as Francois leaves?
I think as he leaves, I'm just gonna try to become more buddy with his friends and be like, "Yo, he's got this. He's gonna hit it out of the ballpark."
Roll me a persuasion or general charisma check right now.
Okay. All right, natural 11 plus 16.
One of them's like, you ain't too bad, kid, and he tosses you a soda.
Let's go, Francois.
And they all just like cheer, and there's like a general party atmosphere. One of them points a wand at the TV and it grows like 5 sizes, so it's like the full size of the wall, and you're all sitting in front of it. And this is the perfect point for us to take our bio break and come back for Francois versus Reaper in the arena. And we're back. All right, welcome back, everyone, to Francois versus Reaper, the arena. All right, so as they begin to make their way to the arena, I want to very quickly check in with the team. Zamora and Stevie, are you staying in there to watch the combat from the arena television?
That was my plan.
Okay, just wanted to
Yeah,
check.
I have nowhere else to go, and Steve and I have gotten pretty close, so I'm staying with her.
Cool.
We're hanging out.
Xavier, you're going to stay in this room. You can go back to the main room. Where are you going to watch this fight from? You also have permission as a teacher. You could go hang out in the gangway up to the fight and watch from inside the arena.
I want to do that. Xavier wants to do that.
So Xavier's peace out, ladies, and walks in, and he's kind of almost on Reaper's heels, not trying to take away from Reaper's moment, but definitely is going to watch from the equivalent of the theater wings. So that's that. Luna, you definitely have a TV in the infirmary. Ravi is captivated at this point because he knows, depending on how this goes, he's either going to be doing a ton of healing or he's going to have a really fun afternoon of partying. So he's not paying the most attention to you at this point.
This is good.
So do you intend to stay there and watch it from there? Or are you going to go somewhere else?
I want to keep an eye on Ravi just in case he catches one of us stealing the medallion. I want to make sure that he stays here.
At this point, let's go to Alaya and Luke. What are you two doing?
I'm going to try and make them like me as much as possible and party with them until the battle's over.
Nice. All right. Let's see. You're gonna rely on your personality here. So, Alaya, you're gonna try and just be the life of the party right now.
Yes.
Let's see. I'm gonna just make you do a couple of rolls throughout the course of the fight. It's not very long, so just 2. But at the start of the fight, go ahead and roll me either a performance or a deception check to get them to buy that you're the life of the party, and they should be wanting to party with you.
All right. First one is 15.
All right, that's good for now. I'll come to the second one in a little while. They're partying with you, and they're buying it right now because largely just because they're in such a good mood. They know that their boy's going to win, and they're having fun. All right, Luke, what are you doing right now?
I am sitting amongst the boys, but I am tightly clutching this medallion in my hands, and I keep thinking that someone is just gonna push me over and grab it. So I'm just sitting there really anxious about it.
Cool. Do you want to do anything with it right now? Or are you just gonna sit there and watch the show with it in your hand?
I think that's probably my safest bet.
Cool. All right. So we're going to go to the arena. We'll come back to you all in just a moment. But similar to how we've done in the past where things have happened that you've watched, I'm going to narrate it and then come back to you. So on the TV screen you watch, and the first shot is of Francois' entrance. And he comes in a very kind of swagger. He's got his 6-shooters strapped to his thighs, his repeater rifles on his back, hair pulled back, his feet grinding in to that arena dirt. As he walks towards the center, he takes a moment, kind of tightens his ponytail, bends down on one knee and takes a small amount of dust from the ground. And he's wearing fingerless gloves and takes that and rubs it in between his palms, claps it together, and then stands up, his legs, his feet about shoulder width apart, both hands just kind of twitching down at his hips. Now, Reaper enters. Shot pans around to her entrance. And she's wearing her monk robes like you've already seen. The only difference between her normal outfit and what she's wearing are those very visible bronzed bracers. She walks with a confident stride. It's no swagger, just business as she walks out. The light gleams off of her bracers as she moves, and she stands about 30 feet from Francois. There is a booming voice over the arena, and it says, "For our final fight, we present a very unique fight. Very rarely do we see something like this. We have two guild captains going head to head," and there's a giant roar from the arena. This is very uncommon. First, the challenger, Francois, and there is just an eruption of cheering, largely from the Medusas and from some of the dragons. No reaction from the Flumps. They don't like Francois as a whole. A couple of them may be applauding politely because the Flumps are generally polite, but that's about it. And the Liches aren't really reacting. Liches are busy. Most of them are probably either not here because they're doing experiments, and the ones that are here are just here to watch Reaper, right? And so they're not going to cheer for Francois. And then there's a breath, and the arena settles, and over the speaker you hear, "And then from the Guild of the Lich, Reaper!" And all of the Lich students erupt. A bunch of the Sphinx students erupt, who were very politely applauding and not much more before. And everyone else is kind of split except the Sphinx, not the Sphinxes, the Flumps, who are also like on their feet, full Flump cheer at this point. Some of them are casting minor fireworks. It's pretty impressive, the support that Reaper's getting in this moment. The arena settles again, and the voice says, "This fight will be till the end. First to fall or first unconscious. Fighters, take your stances." Francois drops his head a little. His gaze narrows, and the camera zooms in right on his eyes as they squint, looking directly at Reaper. His fingers, you can tell, are taut and ready. Camera flips to Reaper, who stands and bows, and then takes a full-on boxer's pose, ready to fight, 30 feet away from her opponent. And the voice says, "Begin!" And there's an eruption of applause. And right at the gate, Francois flips his rifle over, loads a shot, and fires. And there's a cheer from the crowd. Reaper dodges a bullet and comes running in at Francois. About 10 feet from him, jumps in the air and does a flying kick right into his chest. He stumbles back, dropping his rifle, but he turns his stumble into a backwards roll, comes up with both pistols, and fires at point blank range at Reaper. And all you hear is the sound of metal on metal as she parries both shots with her metal bracers. No marks on them whatsoever.
Mr. DMD,
Yes.
can the combatants see the cameras, like the TVs? Do they have visible screens from where they are?
No, because in the arena, everyone watches the live performance. The TVs are only in the locker rooms.
Okay, I'm still going to try this anyways.
Go for it.
Could I change the camera feed so that it's only ever focusing on Reaper, just to annoy all of Francois' people?
Roll me a technology check. Or if you've got a spell, you can use that too.
I don't think either of my spells. How close would whatever I'm hacking be to me, feet wise?
Well, you're hacking the feed directly from this TV, so you could do it.
Okay. No, I don't have a spell that would work quite correctly.
Yeah, so just roll a technology and see if you can do it.
9.
Yeah, you try. What you manage to do is make the feed less good in general, for everything, but you can still make out what's going on. And that's totally true. I love.
I can't really use remote access, I don't think.
No. But you managed to blur it a little. You can still see it, but Francois' feed is definitely not as good as Reaper's feed.
Perfect.
And in Francois' locker room, there's some like anger from his boys, and they're all like walking up, kind of tapping the TV, trying to get it to work. One of them's like, "Don't you know some technology spells?" To the other one, he's like, "Nah, I'm not Lex. Like, what do you think is going on here?" And that's pretty much it. Like, they're very frustrated right now. And we go back to the arena as we watch Reaper, who's just blocked both shots, follow up with 3 quick punches right into Francois' gut. And he lets out a cry of pain. And with that cry, the crowd roars. Like, the crowd is totally with Reaper as she makes this contact. But Francois, at this point, because he's so close, can't use his firearms, holsters them in one move and draws a very large Bowie knife. And it attempts to stab Reaper in the gut. There's a quick flurry in this very close distance between Reaper and Francois that's hard to track. Francois' blade glints through the light. Reaper's fists come back hard. And as they separate, Francois' shirt is just a mess. There's like cuts in it. It's been torn in places. And all of Reaper's like cape type robe is cut up too. There's no signs of any sort of contact. It's as if they were perfectly matched in this move. And then Francois takes his coat, closes it, and you can see his mouth move. You can't hear it because the arena is so loud, but then he throws it open and a wave of blue light energy erupts from the coat out forward. The crowd roars, and there's an intense sound wave that rocks the room you're in. Reaper flies 20 feet back, hits the ground with a thump, and lies limp. The crowd begins to chant Francois, 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 and he stands like a champion. He sheathes his knife and begins to like cheer, like to encourage the crowd, and turns his back on Reaper. And as Reaper lies there, Reaper begins to glow. Green. Reaper glows with a sickly green light that you have never seen before. And very quietly kips up, which is a move in martial arts where you rock back and pop back up onto your feet with no sound. She then lets out a ferocious roar and rushes to Francois. Hearing this, he spins, pulls his guns, shoots 2 more times. This time, she parries both of those shots directly into Francois' thigh, literally ricocheting the bullets back into him. He lets out a defiant scream of pain and shock as he goes down to one knee. The only sounds you hear in your space are the sounds of solid body-on-body impact, as Reaper quickly jabs at Francois twice and hits him with an uppercut. His weapons go clattering to the ground, dropping them. At this point, the locker rooms are going crazy. Francois' guys are yelling. They're like, Reaper cheated. Reaper cheated. She can't rise. She can't rest. She can't bring herself back from the dead. That's not how that works. Right? They're just angry. One of them's like, I knew she was going to do that. It's a dirty trick. Bad form. Meanwhile, Zamora and Stevie, how were your reactions in your locker room with just the two of you?
Oh, I'm getting hyped. I'm on like the edge of my seat. I'm like, yes, Reaper.
We are so high. I had like a water bottle in my hand and I got like really excited and I jumped up and like spilled everywhere on accident. But I was like super hype. I was like jumping up and down everywhere.
I think at one point I tried to high five Zamora, but I don't wait to see if Zamora has seen me first. So I just kind of go and I kind of just like hit her in the head.
I kind of just stop. I just stare at her for a second. And then I hit her back, and then I start shaking her like out of excitement.
I'm just glad she's not mad at me for hitting her, so I'm going with it.
Yeah, if you've got something to say, Lex, go for it. As the teams in, we're going to go over now to Francois' team, who's yelling about cheating and breaking the rules.
Rule number 1, one more time, all weapons, spells, and tactics are legal.
And what are the rest of you doing? Let's start with Elia.
This whole time, especially when Francois was like getting some good shots in, I've been taking the soda bottles and just kind of waving them all over the place, getting the crowd super hyped, drinking a ton too. Almost to the point where I feel a little sick, but I'm not all the way there yet, but I'm a little bit blinded by the excitement. And I think it's kind of funny that I'm tricking all these people to thinking that I support him, and that keeps me going, because I'm like, yeah, I don't actually like this.
Roll another check to see how well they're buying it, either, again, persuasion or deception.
Okay. Oh, man. 8.
Did you roll deception or persuasion?
Well, they're both the same, so.
Well, I need to know which one, because it affects how the story looks.
Oh, wait, did you say persuasion?
Persuasion or deception.
Oh, okay. Then I got a 10 for persuasion.
So they're partying with you, so they don't really notice, but you're trying a little too hard at this point. Like, and if anyone was really trying to like break apart what you were doing, they'd be like, he's trying too hard, man. But they're just so in it at this point and distracted. They're like, yeah, what you said. Right. Cool. And your attention is pulled back to the screen as you hear the sound of steel on steel again. But this time, it's not from bullets, it's from blades. As Francois has pulled not just the knife you've already seen, but a second knife out, and is quickly trying to get a stab in somewhere on Reaper. Pardon me. And he can't seem to find an opening. And Reaper has got him. It looks like she's got him on the ropes. She's given him the 1-2, faking him out for a third. And she goes in for the same combo that she hit early, that jab, jab, uppercut. And this time he knows it's coming. And he leans into both of the jabs, taking him right on the jaw. But as she goes for the uppercut, he dodges out of the way and gets her right in the side with both of his knives. And her body falls again, and the dust waves out from her, and he looks at her and he spits on her. Complete disgust and disgrace. Turns around, raises both of his blades in the air like, yeah, I am the man. I beat her. She cheated, and I am the man. And there's the same group of people cheering, but this time it's hesitant. The crowd saw what Reaper did last time, and they're waiting. Francois steps back a couple of steps. Reaper doesn't get up, starts to walk towards the locker room. He's about halfway to the locker room when she glows green again. This time the audience is ready for it, and they hush. It's like the air is sucked directly out of the room. And with him as far away from her as she is, she stands up this time, covered in dust, and she has a full-on Neo moment where she just shakes that dust off, and it kind of clouds around her. And she lets out a roar. Francois lets out a scream, both of his daggers out, and he goes rushing at her. Reaper sets her feet, opens her mouth, and as Francois is 10 feet away from her, lets out a cone of acid right in his face. This toxic spray catches him in the mouth, in the eyes. His shirt is melting into his skin, and he hits the ground screaming, clutching his face. And then Reaper rushes and flying punches him right in the temple. He goes down and glows red. This time, the arena explodes in cheers and excitement. And what are you doing in your room right now? Let's start with with Zamora and Stevie in Reaper's room.
I'm so hyped.
I cannot contain my excitement, so I start to try to make my way to the arena to try to get to Reaper.
And there's nobody in the locker room, so you have no problem. You push out the door, and the only person between you and Reaper is Xavier, and he's standing kind of in that walkway between the two of you. So you're going to go past him, Xavier. You're going to do anything as Zamora runs past.
I want to join them.
So you run with Zamora, and as the two of you are in the arena, Reaper's she's her hands are clenched. She's breathing heavy. There's a little bit of acid kind of dropping from her mouth into the dirt, and it just kind of bubbles up. And she kind of wipes her chin. And I think it's Xavier at this point, grabs her arm, throws it in the air, and then over the loudspeaker you hear, "Reaper wins! Reaper wins!"
As this happens, I'm going to send a text to Moon, because I assume I have Moon's number because we're Tumblr mutuals. And I'm just going to be like, "Did you get the thing to Hannah?"
Where is
You're
Hannah,
muted
by the way?
then. Oh, wait, no. What?
Luke
Oh, I'm
still has
asking
the thing.
Stevie. Yeah.
Luke still has the thing. So, Luke, we'll go to you very quickly now. The room that you're in, everybody is angry. They're throwing things. One of the guys has reduced the TV back to its normal size so they don't break the TV. But I think one of the guys is a barbarian, but not a dragon barbarian, a Medusa barbarian. They're wild. And he's literally just punched a hole in the wall, and it's a giant hole. And he's ripping parts of the wall off. He's gone into a rage. He's so angry. And what are you doing?
I'm kind of quickly looking for an excuse to leave the room because this is kind of crazy. And I look over at Alaya, and I just see the piles of crushed soda cans around him, and I'm like, dude, what have you been doing?
Can I go now?
Yeah, go for it.
So by the time at the end, because I saw Francois win until she healed herself, I stood on top of a table, and when he went down, I was like, "Oh, what? Come on!" And I realized that I drank way too much soda, and I start gagging, and I fall off the table, and I hit my head on the ground, and I get up, and I'm like, "Oh, I gotta get out of here." You pointing at Luke, and I'm like, "Please help me out of here."
And
Bro.
No, go ahead, Luke.
Bro, this is bad. How did you have what even? I'm just standing there so dumbfounded by the fact that this is actually happening. And I kind of wrap an arm around him to stabilize him.
It does. It's
as the other guys see you get ready to hurl Alaya, they're like, "God, get out of here, man. Don't get sick in here. It'll smell for days." They're pushing you two out the door at this point.
So we're out.
Okay. Let's go.
Yeah, and I'm kind of stumbling, partly acting, mostly not really, but yeah, and I think we make it out of there well enough.
Yeah, you are out. You can leave the locker room if you want at this point. I think as you are leaving, Luna, Ravi is grabbing you and saying, "Come on, we got to go heal Francois." And he's dragging you into the arena at this point.
Oh crap! Okay, I can't really resist.
And he gets about halfway out. He's like, And he runs back and he grabs a stretcher and he goes, looks to someone else. He's like, you come and help us. We're gonna have to bring him in here and heal him. I'm sure his nose is all messed up at this point too. Like, he's not happy about this. He was expecting it to be an easy win for Francois and not have to do anything today. And now he's going to be healing all day.
I'm trying so hard not to smile or anything.
Roll a deception check to see if they're buying it.
Because I am so happy. My dice fell on the ground. Okay, I got a 19 plus something.
He's
Probably just 19.
He's so miserable. He's not paying any attention to you. You're completely like selling it, by the way. That smile is not breaking through, but you wouldn't even have to worry. He's distracted. And Francois is so beat up at this point. He doesn't care what you're doing. They put him on the stretcher and they bring him back into the infirmary. And you're going to spend the next like hour with him and Ravi.
Oh, great.
Healed up. And at this point, the arena is starting to kind of, people are exiting from it. There's a general excitement that Reaper won. Some people are like, do you think she got the medallion? Rumors are already circling. Moon, you are standing outside the door as you have been the whole time, having no idea what happened except for you could hear the like roars of the crowd, but you don't know who they were cheering for. And Elia and Luke walk out. Elia looks like he's about to vomit on your shoes.
Give her the thing.
All right, Elia, go stand over there. I got this, okay? Moon, here. And I hand over this like incredibly sweaty medallion because it's been clutched in my hands for the last like hour. And I'm just like, sorry, it's kind of here. I'll wipe it on my shirt.
It's especially icky because he keeps it on a leather strap. And so the leather has like absorbed your sweat at this point and it smells like sweat and leather. It's just nasty.
I try and wipe it on my shirt a little bit
and now you just have a grease stain on your shirt.
You know, I kind of give up and I just hand it over to Moon. Just go quickly.
You guys are a wreck. Where is Hannah? So I
Hannah's still in the main infirmary in the big house, the cabin, main cabin. That's it.
I sort of thank the boys and tell them to like, take care of themselves because they both look super ill and stressed. And then I kind of like call poison and I go run and give it to Anna.
Cool. We'll get back to you in just a second. We're going to follow that medallion in a second, but I want to check in with Lex. Lex, you are standing in a room with a student punching a hole into the wall that keeps getting bigger.
I was honestly just here to make sure they don't break everything in the room.
You also are fully aware that the room is enchanted and all you have to really do is tell someone and that wall's going to be fine in like 5 minutes. So what are you doing?
I'm used to Xavier. I'm just letting him get this guy get their anger out. I'm just do your thing. It'll be fine. But it's funny if people think I'm not taking down their names.
And eventually he kind of like, he runs out of gas. He's just like, all right, let's go. And like the remaining members of the entourage that aren't healing Francois all kind of like leave brokenhearted that their friend lost. One of them's like, we should like maybe get him some food. He's going to be bummed. They're like, yeah, we'll go make something at camp. And they exit. Zamora and Stevie. Zamora is in the arena with Reaper. Reaper is definitely rocking an adrenaline high right now. And is like, it kind of does that like wobble people do after they've worked out really hard, like needs to sit down.
I'm like awestruck because I didn't see Reaper fight that first night because I was too far in the cabins. This is the first time I've seen Reaper fight anything, and I'm just kind of standing there like, that was so cool.
Yeah, I think you're saying that too in shock as she's being kind of carried back in by Xavier and Zamora to the locker room.
Yeah.
As she's going back into the locker room, I try to find her like a rag to wipe off all the toxins because I'm not trying to get that on me. So like I need something to clean her off.
You easily, if there's like it's a locker room, so there's a giant stack of towels and they're all enchanted, so her acid won't burn them. And yeah, you hand her one. She's kind of cleaning herself up and rubbing some of the sweat off of her head spikes. She doesn't have hair because she's a dragon. Lest you forget, she just breathed acid, but sure. And she also takes a towel and very meticulously begins to polish her bracers and then take them off and then wrap them in their own, it's like a muslin type canvas and put them back in the bottom of her bag. It's almost ritualistic how she's putting these away. Zamora and Stevie, anything else you want to do? And Xavier, you're here with Reaper as she is pulling herself together.
I might run over and grab her water.
I think that Reaper is all settled here, and I haven't seen Hannah in a while, so I'm going to make my way to the infirmary to make sure that the other half of the team did everything that they were supposed to.
As you start to leave, Reaper holds out a hand. Zamora, do me a favor. And she's like, totally out of breath. Don't tell Hannah I won. She smirks. I want to do it.
For sure, yeah, 100%. And then I turn around and make my way up to the infirmary.
Cool.
I'm going to follow Zamora, but before I do that, I'm going to turn to Reaper and be like, so Reaper, were those rumors true that you were going to steal the medallion?
She looks at you. She's like, Stevie, I was a little busy to have that sort of thing on my mind, but why don't you go find out?
No, yeah, I can do that. I wouldn't really know who to ask, but I can go see if any rumors may have happened. I'm going to trail behind Zamora and go to the infirmary.
She's like giggling between breaths as you're leaving. Leaving her and Xavier to kind of hang out and recoup after the fight. So the hike from the arena to the main cabin is about half an hour. And at what pace are you doing this hike? Are you rushing to get up to Hannah? Are you planning to meet somewhere else before you get to Hannah? What's the plan?
Who are you asking?
Generally, all of you. I have a lot of adrenaline, from seeing Reaper win and all that hypeness. So I'm I'm rushing my way up there.
I don't want to fall behind Zamora, so I'm going at whatever pace she's going at.
And what's really funny is we all know Zamora is significantly more athletic than Stevie. So Zamora is jogging and Stevie's just trying to keep up.
I'm sprinting.
Very entertaining. Luke, Xavier, Luke, Alaya Moon, Luna, what is your process to get up there? Are you meandering? Are you rushing? What's it look like on your trip up?
Okay, so I'm still healing Francois, but this is probably taking a while, and I'm getting really impatient, and I just want to. So I think eventually we get to I don't know, treating the acid or something, and I just stop. I start to cure wounds, and I just stop, and I look at him, and I'm like, you know what? No, I'm done. I'm done. You can just. You lost.
And you just see him turn rage red.
Oh yeah, you lost. You lost to a girl. Did you hear that? You lost to and I'm.
And he looks at you, and he says, "Yeah, what of it? She was better than me today." And he looks at Ron V and he says, "Get her out of here."
I book it. I run.
And you run, and Ravi and him are left alone, patching his wounds. Thank God for the arena, because that acid would have done some really long-term damage. But we are now left with Moon and Alaya. What is your process to get to Hannah?
Well, first thing I do is rush to the bathroom. So they're going to be a good bit ahead of me. But I think when I come out of the bathroom, that's when I see Luna leaving, and that's when I decide to go. Or that's when I make it there.
I've accompanied Alaya, and I'm just kind of like still trying to figure out how he managed to get sick on like soda of all things. But I'm just kind of there, so the two of us are probably gonna get there last.
You're taking your time. It's a slow walk. Moon, what's your process? You are the one with the coin. Medallion.
I'm sort of speed walking, but I'm also like not trying to look suspicious. I'm with poison, and I would guess I'm at the head of everyone because I kind of got a little bit of a head start. But I'm trying not to look too suspicious, but I'm trying to get there as fast as I can just to get it over with.
I think you have enough of a head start on the arena that you don't really see anyone until you get to the lodge, where there are a few kind of like stragglers, mostly like Guild Lich and Sphinxes who didn't go to the arena because they had too much studying to do. Mm-hmm. And they're the only ones you have to convince that you're not rushing to the infirmary to Hannah. So roll me a persuasion or a performance or a stealth if you just want to sneak past them. I just need to know what you're rolling when you roll.
I rolled a 17 and I am doing stealth.
So you walk in, notice that there's a bunch of people around. And rather than like try to play it off cool, you just wait until the room is clear and you bolt for the stairs. You're like, I'm not waiting for the elevator. And there's no one on the stairs. No one takes the stairs. So you totally make it upstairs fine. And that same guy is standing outside the infirmary that has always been standing outside the infirmary doing his job. And you walk up and he's like, is Rena over? What are you doing?
I'm here to visit Hannah. I just want to say hi and check in on her.
Cool. Just sign in on your way in.
I kind of like sloppily assign it. Like I'm not really paying attention. And I'm like, okay, can I go now?
And he looks at your suit. He's like, oh man. And he picks it up and you can tell he's like trying to fix so you could read your name as you walk away. And sure enough, Hannah is still the only person in the infirmary right now, in her corner back bed. The curtains that like have turned it, that when you first came in, made it like kind of a private corner, have been drawn back, and the curtains in front of the window have been drawn. So it's a rather like nice, well lit room today. It doesn't feel nearly as like dark and horrible as it could. And you notice that a small television is sitting on a table at the end of her bed, and she is like glowing. She is smiling, and she just looks so happy and so proud when you walk in. And the second she sees you, she's like, "Moon, did you see? Did you see?"
Sadly, I didn't, but I do have a present for you.
She's like, "What could make today better?" I mean, Reaper just beat the snot out of Francois.
I kind of like, while she's excitedly like talking about it, I kind of just like hold out the medallion and I'm like,
and her eyes just like go the size of saucers, like just huge. She's like, is that? No.
It is.
How did you guys get it? And as you're saying this, everyone else is starting to make their way in. Zamora and Stevie first, and then kind of Luna and Alaya and Luke right behind them. You all kind of magic of TV caught up with each other. How did you guys get it?
I'm still like very sickly green and kind of like
the guy at the door actually sees you look like this, and he just kind of hands a bucket out without looking as you walk by. Like he's seen that before. He says, "Why don't you cut back on the carbonation, okay, buddy?"
Yeah. Hannah, by the way.
Yeah. Go ahead. He's gotten used to you all coming in at this point.
We did the plan that we talked about.
Buddy up with Francois. It was awful.
It was pretty fun for me. I don't know about you guys.
I'm giving Hannah our secret handshake, and I'm like, bro, we did it. Aren't you proud of us?
And she like gives it back. She's like, I guess you're not pre-K anymore, Zamora. That's pretty impressive.
And I'm still really in awe of how Reaper did that. So I start doing that thing that like little kids do in action movies. Like, then you did the and then yeah, and then like I'm just like acting it out, but not knowing what to call anything that happened.
Yeah, that's hilarious. And I think Hannah's like definitely like giggling at how excited you are, and like just totally there's just a very like positive party excitement feel. Like Luke, go ahead. Do you have something to say?
I kind of look over at Hannah and I just kind of say like, are we the cool first years now?
And Hannah looks at you, and you know she's turning the cheese up when she says, she's like, you've always been the cool first years. Come on.
Oh God, please no.
I like get so
I'm
excited.
smiling. I'm very happy to be called this.
I get so excited. I like give her like a big hug, like a really big hug. Like, I've never given her a hug before, but I just feel like she doesn't call me pre-K anymore. So I'm just so excited.
And like I think it's one of those hugs where like she wasn't expecting it, so like her arms are pinned at the side. You may even be like leaning on her leg a little, and she's just kind of like smiling and maybe in a little pain, but she's like totally there with you, like doing the awkward like flappy hands hug.
I'm gonna give like a look to everyone else and just kind of start going in to join this big hug and hope that everyone follows.
So we have two parts of a group hug. Is anybody else joining?
I guess I reluctantly join. I guess I do want to hug, but I'm pretending to be very I'm pretending to be very begrudging about it.
Alaya?
I'm gonna stick back because I feel like if I put any pressure on my stomach, it's gonna come out. So I'm just gonna hold back and be like, no, I'm good right now.
Okay. Luke?
I'm probably going to be kind of like the outer person, just kind of like arms around like everyone.
Towering over the group.
Yeah.
Moon, are you squeezing into this group hug?
I was gonna say, yeah, I'm kind of like super tiny, so I kind of like squeeze into the whole thing and kind of eventually reach the middle.
That's so adorable. I kind of want to leave it there, but we have 15 minutes. So this group hug kind of like, you all start to realize you may actually be suffocating Hannah because the hug is so big. And it all starts to kind of break away. And you're kind of left with this like just feeling of like happiness. You've won. And Hannah looks at you all like, this is so good. All we have to do is get Jade and tell her. We can do that right away. And there's just this excitement about like, it's going to be good. Like everything has gotten better. You've won. And that's where we're going to stop for today. And we will end with a brief Q&A as we kind of take our break, because I want to pick right up from that moment next week. And so I'm going to switch over my screen so I can see everyone. Welcome. We have 15 minutes. And this was the perfect place to stop for this part of the story. Because it's very rare we get a super awesome wrapped up in a tiny bow happy ending. And I want to give us one of those. Yes, Cast, you can take the tape off if you would like. So we are going to do a Q&A, and I'm here this time. So if you have universe questions or anything like that, I can answer those also. And I know we're on a little bit of a delay, so those questions won't come in for a little while. I want to say, first of all, Cass, you always entertain me, and tonight was especially fun. If I never see Alaya fake vomit again, it'll be too soon. Thank you again to our performer playing Lex and Xavier tonight. Always challenging to play two different characters, but I did get to see some of the fan headcanon there, and I totally dig that, by the way. Super cool.
Dude, we finally got a found family.
Also, happy holidays to everyone, because that's on Christmas is on Friday if you celebrate that.
Yes, and if you celebrate Hanukkah, happy belated Hanukkah.
It passed Hanukkah, and I think it passed Yule.
Yule was yesterday.
Yep.
Yes, the solstice was yesterday, so that's exciting. And there's so many other holidays coming up, so I hope you enjoy them and that you are safe and doing well right now. I know I am doing okay here in my little fakey studio. So yeah, do any of you have any questions for each other as we're waiting to see any questions come in from the chat? Moon, you're getting some glasses love already.
I think I had a question earlier, like when Moon Moon's name was put as poison on the list, did Lex just let him in even though they know that's not Moon's name?
I think Lex didn't care about who Moon was, and because Moon wasn't trying to get in. There's a question about what's up with Moon's hair.
What do you mean what's up? It looks awesome.
I think it looks super cute. I think it's just that Moon's doing something different, and that's why the
Moon, your hair is literally so swag. So it's okay.
Hype Moon up.
Moon is the Draco Malfoy of our universe now.
No,
with the hair.
no Harry Potter.
Let's see. There was a question about what Reaper would look like as human. Well, what do you think Reaper would look like as human? I'll ask you all because I know what I think they look like. She looks like.
Well, then it's what you think, right? I don't know.
Reaper would be very buff.
I haven't headcanoned this at all, so.
She would look hot.
She would look hot.
Reaper is always hot.
I'm a WWE fan, and so I picture because Reaper I think would still be buff. I picture her looking something like Charlotte Flair.
Like who?
Like Charlotte Flair. She's one of the WWE wrestlers. Or I'm trying to think of who else.
I don't know any of them. I'm sorry.
I don't know WWE. I just know Reaper would look very buff.
I just know that Reaper is pretty, and I want to marry her.
Well, Reaper is of Portuguese ancestry, which I've established before. So there's that. Let's see. Let's see. What is Amaya's shirt? I don't know what that is. So I don't know what that is.
I assume that's supposed to be Alaya.
Oh, probably, yeah. What is Alaya's shirt? It's a shirt. Alaya, what is your shirt?
My shirt is it's a tank top in a yeah, but it says Galapagos, Ecuador on it.
Oh, okay.
That's my favorite place ever. So yeah, I got this when I went there, and I wear it because training in a tank top, and it's also cold outside, so it's a weird look. And Mr. DMD had a good comment that I do look like a 90s boy band member.
Oh, yeah, definitely, like right out of NSYNC.
Yeah. So I guess that's what I train in.
It's a jacket over a shirt.
Yeah.
Or is it a shirt over a shirt, Alaya?
No, it's a jacket over a tank top. You can see my pale skin.
Got it. Okay.
Guys, I stacked my dice 3 times during this stream.
I love dice stacking. It's so it's like soothing.
Yeah. I was really fidgety. I dropped my dice like twice. I don't know if you saw.
Yeah, Mr. DMD told me to roll, and I accidentally just kind of like chucked my dice, and it fell on the floor. So
Nice.
I love this person that keeps giving Moon would you rather questions every time we do Q&As.
This question is ridiculous. Would Moon rather have an unlimited supply of life-size cutouts of anything she has ever licked,
What?
or vomit whenever she sees tape measures? That is just silly. I would personally take the first answer because I hate to vomit. And I see tape measures a lot. There's one on my desk right now.
Cardboard cutouts of everything I've ever licked.
Yep. This is so weird.
I think the real question is, what have you licked, and what, and how are they going to get a
I think we're
cardboard
going to
cutout
avoid
of
that question, I think. Stevie's like, no, please, that's an X. Yeah, we're not going to go near that.
I pass.
We're not going to go near that.
I think I would take tape measures, actually, just because of how rarely I see them.
No one asked
well,
you.
right now.
I know, I figured I'd put my
Everyone
input in.
ask
you,
in storage
Elia.
and forget
They asked
about
Moon.
them.
It's
No,
not
I
like
would do-
it's not gonna follow you everywhere.
I would do tape
Do
measures.
we have any other questions?
I have
to
one
look
for you.
into?
I have one for you. Now that your characters have won, what does your character want to do next?
That's a good question.
I can start.
Stevie really wants to start focusing on school. Like, please. I'm sorry.
We have finals coming up.
Oh, Luna's gonna
We got
study
what?
then. Luna's gonna study.
Yeah, it's like November in this school right now, so your first session of finals are coming up.
Mr. D&D, that hits kind of close to home. Why would you do that to us? What if we
Wait,
have
did you mean like
finals
immediately after, or like in general?
I think, like, what is your next thing on your character's list of things to do?
Like that day?
gloat?
No, I think big next thing.
Oh,
His
okay.
next thing
That was
is
like
he wants to
eat and
focus on
sleep.
school. Yeah.
Honestly, probably get better at like my powers, like being able to like look inside of me and unlock the divine being inside of me. I feel like I should explore that more.
Yeah, definitely. I like that.
Lex is looking forward to sleeping, to just recharging after this whole day.
Luna.
Yeah, Luna's probably gonna study too. Finals are very important. Luna's gonna like lock herself in her room and study.
Yeah, finals are coming. They're going to be intense.
Oh.
Luke, what do you want to do next?
I'm doing anything other than studying.
Well, now remember, technically for Luke, going into the arena and hitting things is studying.
That's true, but I assume that there's also going to be a part of the final that's like not just hitting things.
Yeah, Raketi's going to give you a world history final.
Oh.
No,
Pangea?
Pangea.
Yeah. Elias kind of wonky with his focus.
Yeah, this happens.
Moon, what do you want to do next?
Well, immediately after, I think I'm gonna just go to bed because I clearly carried this whole team on my back by just standing at the door. But for finals, I think I want to find out more about my connection to poison because I feel like I know there's a connection there, but I want to go deeper into that.
Elia?
I think I want to do. I had some time with Poison trying to get both Amelia and Poison to find where Francois', I guess, base camp was, and I thought that was pretty cool. So I want to try to train Amelia to do more cool things. That's what I'm going to focus on.
Fun. So there's a couple other questions that have come up in the chat. One of them was, I did get everybody there, right? That they want to do next. Cool. I didn't want to forget anybody. Are there any other magical schools or schools for the Awoken? And if so, do they go head-to-head in combat or ever interact with each other in general? Yes, there are. There is one. Our school is based out of the Lake Tahoe area. That is our West Coast school. There's an East Coast school, which we've mentioned in passing very early in like the third or fourth episode, that some bad things had happened in that area. There is also a school located somewhere in Europe. I haven't exactly figured out where yet. One in Africa and one in Asia. So they kind of are strategically placed around the globe. Where specifically, I don't know exactly yet. Haven't gotten to developing them yet. And then the other question is, do we interact in general? So they won't face each other in any sort of formal combat. I know. I'm aware that Africa and Asia are continents. I will put them in specific locations. I just haven't figured out where I want them yet.
I'm sorry. It's a thing.
Yes, I don't know where in those continents yet they are going to be. So whether or not they interact yet, I haven't figured out. There's not like a Tri-Wizard tournament per se. If you're trying to make the comparison between Harry Potter. Our closest thing is that fifth-year students, traditionally, we've talked about this before, traditionally do a study abroad or an adventure abroad, but haven't established if there's any sort of international competition or anything yet. I'm still working on that, but that's further along the line for the characters, so it hasn't really come up as an issue yet. And another question from Night of Light. Do the characters have any other forms, not including the staff? And I think what this question is about is how when we saw the staff as kind of a traditional human form in the beginning, and then they changed into how we know them now. That is a very special and unique enchantment that the students are going to learn about very soon when we have our upcoming family day on campus, which will be a whole fun little story that we're going to tell. So that'll be coming up soon too, for you to keep an eye out for. But first, they got to get through finals. So let's see. See if we get any other questions. I have one last question to ask you all. What, since we've kind of mentioned a few times, what final is your character most looking forward to, and which final are they least looking forward to? Stevie's look already is like, I think, knows right off the bat.
Yeah, I'm not looking forward to that weapons final. But I am looking forward to my technology final because I'm good at that.
Yes, and Lex, by the way, totally knows exactly what and how you messed with that feed. So
you just didn't care.
Some sort of interaction later. I don't know, Lex, did you care? Were you impressed? How did you feel?
I feel like I'd be more impressed if we actually only focused on Reaper the whole time. But I did find it impressive, and I knew exactly who would try this once the feed started changing, and I was like,
Fun. Other people want to share their classes? This will be the last question as we wrap up for tonight.
I'm looking forward to my weapons final because I have found that like playing with weapons is a lot of fun, and just like taking out my like anger on that instead of people, I found has got me out of a lot of trouble. And I'm not looking forward to my history final because I find history to be kind of boring. Like, it's okay, but it's kind of just, all my other classes are really fun and practical, and then there's just history.
I'm a fan of Ricketti's class, are you?
I mean, like, Ricketti's cool, you know, he's a great teacher and everything, but it's just that class it's not it.
I'm not looking forward to the history final either because I know it's gonna. I can accept the magic. It's just what a spell. I just can't. I know it's gonna be awful. I know I'm gonna want to argue with every question on the final. It's gonna suck.
At least you guys are just doing the test. Do you think I look forward to grading all of them?
I'm not, but I am looking forward to whatever. I forgot my class is the druid class that I have.
Yeah, fun.
It's really hard to cheat in Ricketti's class also. So
That is true.
no
that's
bueno. That's difficult.
I'm probably the same as Zamora. Fighting class is like super easy. History is like the bane of my existence.
Luke and Zamora, the equivalent of like, gym is my best class and I hate history. I love it. It's so fun. Moon or Alaya?
I'm excited for my Arcana Magic class because I really enjoy expanding my horizons with that, with what I can do. But what I'm not looking forward to is probably gym. I don't like it. It's not fun to just go out and get sweaty for like a couple hours, just like to do nothing afterwards. It's just, what's the point?
All right. Moon, where are you at? You're our last one.
I am not excited for any of them because, when I first got here, it was, a school for misfit children. And, I was thinking that maybe they would be laid back, but then I found out it's magic school and then I was like, dude, it's magic. What are we going to be tested on? Like, it's going to be super easy. No, every single class is hard for me and I'm not prepared for any of these finals. And I think I want my money back. It's been one big lie. So yeah, I am the most unprepared ever.
Well, I think that is a fun place to wrap up. We will be back next week again for the first finals that our students will be taking. So be prepared for that. Thank you all for joining us this evening. And we are Argonauts Awoken. Follow us on our socials. Stevie's our socials master.
At Argonauts Awoken on TikTok, Twitter, and Instagram. I just uploaded a new TikTok like yesterday, I think. I think it was yesterday.
Is that the Happy Holidays one?
Yeah.
Nice. That was fun. That was the first TikTok I've ever been on, people.
I know. We got Mr. DMD in a TikTok.
Whoa, you're TikTok famous.
No.
Yay.
All right. So yeah, join us next week as our recruits begin the process of taking finals at this crazy magic school. And what will those look like? We don't know, but we will find out next week on Argonauts Awoken. Y'all have a happy holiday.
Happy holidays.
Bye. Happy holidays.
Happy holidays.
Bye.
Happy holidays, everyone.
Bye, everyone.